What's up, guys? Raginstalion here for another mindless tith farming episode. We're continuing on with the holiday tuna and sweetcorn potato challenge, of course, but we're at Tith Farm to get these grape seeds so that we can turn them into grapes and level up our cooking to 68, of course, as I've explained in previous streams if you've been following along. And once we have 68 cooking, we'll be able to make those potatoes. We already farmed all the supplies for the potatoes. Thanksgiving is coming up. I hope we make them in time for a little get-together. I'm just kidding. But, yeah. Hopefully be able to farm some tuna and sweet corn potatoes for Thanksgiving. Very fitting, I think, if I do say so myself. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I guess I'm a little slow starting out. It wasn't long ago, before I got up, probably about 2 hours ago. So yeah, I should be woken up, but I'm just getting back into the actual game itself, so it's going to take my brain a little bit of time to get warmed up. I switched my camera angle because I figured that's a great angle for this beautiful mural I have on a wall of this little mushroom forest. I love that. Sometimes I just sit there and trip out to that, and it makes such a great background for when I'm when I'm streaming or I'm video chatting with my friends. Usually when I'm video chatting with my friends, I'm still pretty new to this whole streaming thing, as you can probably tell. But hopefully when I get back on my feet and working again, of course there won't be as many streams then because I'll be working. But hopefully once that happens, and I get a little money saved up, I can invest me in a streaming camera. And the headset's pretty good. I think this headset is great. You can hear me all the way in the other room and stuff. So I'm good on the headset, but it would be nice to get a better quality camera. This camera that I have is like 10 years old or more, if not more, probably more. I am pretty old, or I'm getting there anyway. I'm 31 years old. I'll be 32 pretty soon. Yeah, definitely not getting any younger. So I think it's time I get a new webcam. I thought about getting me one of those really high quality tabletop streaming cameras. The tabletop ones are always really good quality. They're expensive though. They're about $1,000, or at least $500 for a good one. Little tabletop type shit. And look at me fucking up already because I'm getting lost in the conversation. Man, streaming is a skill. It really takes a lot of skill to kind of just sit there and multitask and say what you need to say without sounding like a complete fool. It's definitely a skill. There's a reason streamers get paid so much. It's basically a massive balancing act. They're professional jugglers. They're vocal jugglers. Plus all the editing and stuff that's involved. It's probably pretty stressful to sit there and because like however much content you do, naturally you would have to edit all that content. So that doubles your time right there. And then that's not even counting the time that you just sit there and review your content and see how it sounds. Because not always, like, stuff doesn't always sound as good when you're streaming as it does when you're rewatching your own stream. Like, sometimes you'll rewatch your own stream and you'll be like, I said that? Or, hey, that sounded pretty good, actually. I didn't think it sounded that good. You know, it's just a different perspective is all. But yeah, so it's like back to my point. Like streaming is very like time consuming. It's very involved. Streamers have to go through a great deal of time editing and reviewing and all that stuff, and that's probably why they get paid so much. Well, obviously they get paid so much because if they're successful, they're popular, and that pays for itself. But there's a reason for all that. There's a good reason for all that. They really do earn their pay, I think. Especially if they're making quality streams. I'm not. My streams are shit quality, I think. But I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Some people like those like quirky personalities though. There's many different breeds of streamers. You never know. There's someone for everyone, you know. That quirky content can be kind of comedic at times. And I know I'm kind of quirky and awkward, and I know some people like that. But hey, you know, I'll let y'all be the judge of that. Actually, that Gold made a living off of quirkiness. That dude's funny as shit, man. I think. I love it how he's always like, okay, 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 okay. He says okay a lot. And it's hilarious though. And he always says it like in the form of a question too. Like okay, okay. I know I mentioned Gold a lot on here, but he it's kind of like he's very much a hit or miss streamer too. I'd say a lot of people hate him too for the same reasons. The quirkiness, the uncertainty, the how can I say this? The Aspergeriness, the autism. Gold's like maximum autism. That's part of what makes him so funny. But I shouldn't talk too much shit about an average streamer. He could destroy me. if he wanted to, if he saw this. But he might not want to do that because, you know, there's no such thing as bad press. But I like it. I like them. I like the Aspergeriness of it. The I loved his steak videos where he was kind of going over like how he makes his steaks and stuff, and how he's just like this real simple eater that could just he just be happy eating really ultra thin steaks for like the remainder of his life. That was really cool. It was really funny too. He's like the master of like capitalizing on that kind of lifestyle, you know, like messy kitchen, fucking just being an Asperger, you know. But like I said, a lot of people don't like him just for that reason, which I think is retarded because that's content, man. People that live filthy lives are hilarious. Like, some people take things too seriously. It's like, dude, take a shower. Like, what's your problem? Like, you know, but come on, man. Like, it's not that serious. It's funny. Like, that's part of the comedy act. Like, you really think he doesn't take showers? Like, no, of course he takes showers. That's just part of the act. That's part of the streaming personality. You know, unkept, unshowered, quirky, autism. I mean, I could just imagine just typing in those tags and Asmongold popping up. You know, like it's part of it, man. It's part of what it makes it so great, you know. And that's definitely my style. I learned from the best. Um, Not saying I'm stealing credit from Aspen Gold or anything, but I'm like that anyway. It's called a natural act. I'm a natural act. I'm funny just being myself. Just like Aspen Gold is funny being himself. And there's a perfect run, guys. First perfect run of the day. Let's keep this rhythm going. We need a new vape before too long. It's starting to get that damn kind of like burnt machinery taste to it. Burnt plastic taste. These off stamp, I don't know what's available in your area or anything, or if you're even from my area or not, but these off stamp vapes, great stuff, man. They don't have those many. I don't know if y'all vape or not, but those of you who do, they don't have those many like flavor choices. I'd say they have about a dozen flavor choices, maybe 2 dozen, or not even that really. But they're really good quality vape. They're they got 16,000 and 9,000 puff choices. I always get the 16,000 puff ones though, and that's enough puffs to last me for about a week of vaping, so or 6 days roughly. So pretty good. And I had like this little magnet and this little compartment that comes off of it. Like that's the battery. It's like a stick battery, but it's got a magnet on it. Um, and it doubles as a fidget spinner too, because you can actually spin the stick battery around on the pod, and then when you run out of juice or whatever, you just throw out the pod, the main unit part, and you know, and get a new one. And keep the battery, of course. Lost a couple of fruits there. A few fruits. Talking about the off-stamp vapes there. That's okay. This one's called Dragon Melon Ice. It's a dragon fruit watermelon menthol flavor. It's pretty good when it's fresh. This tastes like crap right now, but I just don't have anything else to really smoke or vape on, so yeah. I might have an old pod laying around though that's still got a little juice left in it. Let me see here. Because these are all, it's the Dragon Melon Ice. That's my favorite flavor. So I got a bunch of those laying around home. Let me see if I got any with some juice left. Or some that at least taste better than that. Because, sometimes if you leave them, the ones that are almost out, if you leave them sitting around for a while, they'll get back some of their flavor for at least for a time. Yeah, that tastes a lot better. But all you're doing is you're just basically vaping burn off sugars and stuff, so you're not actually getting any nicotine, but it's more about the action, the oral fixation, I guess, of it. That it's better than nothing, It's better. I might not be getting any nicotine, but hey, it's better than nothing. Like I said before, man, work with what you got. Be resourceful. That's my way of life. Try to be happy with what you got. Just be thankful. It's not like I can go out and get in my car and drive to the vape store and buy a vape like I could like 3 months ago, but I'll get there again. I'm just waiting on the settlement check, and then I'll go back to Grubhubbing and Door Dashing and all that. And I'll try to get a few streams in. Not nothing crazy like this. Not nothing like 8-hour streams every day, but I'll still stream. I'll try to stream a couple hours at the end of each night in between my Grubhub job. I'm just really curious how long it's going to take me to plant these 10,000 seeds. I'm almost down to the bottom of the 9,000. So I've done about 1,000 seeds roughly so far. I got about 300 more seeds of those to go. It is slower than I thought, but it's not completely undoable. I mean, not undoable within like the 7 days of game time that I have left or whatever. I'm really gonna have to like hurry up and get this holiday challenge out of the way though before that 5 day mark because I'm gonna need at least a good 5 days to farm up enough gold to keep my bond. And that's probably really cutting it, to be honest. Cutting it close. I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I definitely won't have the time to farm the gems and make the bracelets I need to do that other method. But I might switch it up to like runite or something. We'll see how it goes. I know I could get like 10 mil or I mean 13 mil in runite ore. In 5 days. I just have to world hop and compete with bots a lot. I might actually just buy like a good 1,000 grape seeds and then spend the rest of my 10th farm points here on some lucrative reward that I could resell on the Grand Exchange for the 13 mil. But the thing is, I don't know how lucrative those rewards actually are. I don't know if there's 13 mil worth in 10,000 seeds or 7,000 or whatever's left over. Probably not. I could probably get a big chunk of gold though from that way, doing things that way. I don't know. We'll just have to see how the cookie crumbles. I know I'm probably not going to need all 10,000 seed / points worth of grape seeds to get 68 cooking. So we'll see how the cookie crumbles. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I like it. Yeah, Jim Carrey, he's a funny dude, man. I was watching Ace Ventura: Pet Detective the other night over at Emily's after Mike and Molly went off, and man, that movie is a funny movie, man. I tell you, we were laughing our asses off at his like little facial expressions and stuff. He actually, his mom was dying or had bad health when he was growing up, and how Jim Carrey rose to fame with his comedy acts is he basically got lots of practice trying to amuse his ailing mother, trying to cheer her up and whatnot, and that's how he got so good at those impersonations, from what I heard anyway. It's pretty heartfelt kind of story, if you ask me. I mean, I can't imagine having to grow up like that with an ailing mother. You know she's gonna die and it's inevitable, and you're just trying to make ends meet and support the both of you and spur on your acting career at the same time. I'm sure he didn't know he was gonna become like a famous actor or whatever, but maybe he did. I don't know. But I know he's a funny dude. I know he earned it. That's another kind of natural act right there. Jim Carrey. Just funny being himself. Natural acts are the best. I saw this video recently where this YouTube channel was basically they take like movies like serious. They take a serious movie like Lord of the Rings, and then they take a funny movie like a Jim Carrey movie, and they'd put his character in the scene in place of the main character. So like for the Lord of the Rings ones, instead of Frodo Baggins, they had Jim Carrey in there, and he's sitting there, and they'll ask him like a serious question, or like have him put on the ring, like the Lord of the Ring, and he'll put it on in a funny way, or just have a funny reaction to it. And all they are just cuts from the two different movies, but they're aligned in a really creative way. You know, like some characters just don't belong in specific roles, obviously, but when they do it that way, it has a really neat comedic effect. Because it's just wrong, you know, but it's so wrong, it's funny, you know. Summer, come here. Come here, Summer. Quit barking at stuff. Come here. Come here. Get in here. Come here. Come lay with Daddy. Come here. Come on, get in there. Come here, Summer. After this run, I'll go get Summer in here, and I'll put something in front of the door so she can't go in there and bark at the mailman and whatnot. I know that must be really annoying for you guys, having to hear her bark so much. She's still got that puppy in her, you know. Summer, come here. Only lost one that time, guys. Yeah, okay, I'll be right back. I'll go get my dog. Summer, quit barking. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Go in there. You stay in here. Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to throw me some food in the oven. I was starving. Haven't eaten all day. Well, not since I've been up anyway. But yeah, let's get back into this shit. Cooking me a little brekkie. Little brekkie, as they say in Australia. I'm gonna try to get to bed super early tonight, guys, so I can get back on schedule. But I need to get back on schedule for doctor's appointments and stuff, obviously, but I really want to get back on schedule so I could do another SID trip here. I really would, and I'd like to do it before I leave this mini game, because I was serious yesterday talking about the acid and stuff. I would really like to experience this mini game on an acid trip, so I might do like a little acid stream and see what this shit's like. It's gonna be one crazy trip, that's for sure. But I need to be on a good schedule before I do that, because acid is a full 12 to 24 hour ordeal, and I'd definitely be off schedule if I were to say drop acid right now, because I'd be up for the remainder of today, and then I couldn't, of course, I wouldn't be able to. Summer, cut it out. And then, of course, I wouldn't be able to sleep for the rest of the night, and it would just be really detrimental to my sleep schedule and my success, my future success. So I always try to trip during the day. I'm a day tripper, which is actually a term. Day trippers. You got day trippers and you got just trippers in general. But I'm definitely a day tripper, because not just because it throws you off schedule when you're a tripper in general, but because it's more fun. The sunlight's out. You get to see all the vivid colors and nature and stuff. And I know it's kind of a degenerate thing to do an acid or mushroom trip and then spend your time playing video games, but instead of going outside and touching grass and that. But that's what I like to do. I like to sit inside and trip acid from time to time, because I have my music and my air conditioning and all my amenities that make the trip comfortable and pleasurable, so I don't have a bad trip. Um, I know that's kind of weak-minded. I know you should challenge yourself in psychedelics and that, and not be prone to your own devices. Um, but yeah, that's what I do. Um, well, I guess what I mean is, like, some people may frown down on that statement, because they'll say, well, That's the problem with the world is people are too comfortable in their own devices and stuff, and acid's about like breaking away from that, man, and you should challenge yourself and try to like learn to do without, and that's where the growth comes in, and that's very true. That is a very true argument, but I I just I know what works, and that's what I do. That's what I work. So I work it that way. I know it's very easy to have a bad trip, and when I'm in the comforts of my own home, I feel safe. You know, and I have tripped away from home before, and it didn't turn out so well, and I felt not at ease, and just like the naysayers would say, I was out of my comfort zone. Um, but also for legal reasons, I feel like it's safer legally when you trip at home because you don't know what you might do, and you don't know if you might go and try to drive a car or what, and or what could happen. Anything could happen, and it's just for my own safety. So same reason people don't go out and, well, that's kind of an inaccurate statement. People go out and do dumb shit on alcohol all the time, but that's just it. Like I'm not trying to do that. You know, bars are horrible places. They put people out and about and give them something that inebriates them and lowers their what you call it, what's the word, the thing that like your consciousness and stuff, lowers your inhibitions. i mean how stupid is that? Come to this place away from home and drink something that'll lower your inhibitions, making it that much harder for you to get back home. It's a crazy world we live in if you think of things from a logical standpoint. But that's what we got. But I'd much rather live in a world where people just like smoke weed and trip acid than drink juice that inebriates them and lowers their inhibitions and makes them drink and drive and crash cars and stuff. At least when you're on acid, you don't. People tend to act like they got like a little bit more sense. I mean, sometimes it kind of gives you this sense of responsibility, this sense of like worldly responsibility, because you're what you're on puts you in kind of like this state of mind, like where you care more. You just care more about the world and worldly things, and so it gives you kind of like this big brother um, mindset. It's not like alcohol at all. You know, it's a lot more worldly, empathetic kind of feeling. And because of that, that's why I say that is that you start thinking things like, maybe I should stay home for this. Like maybe I'm not best suited to be out right now. An alcoholic would never think like that. An alcoholic would be like, yeah, let's go get fucked up, bro, yeah. Like, it's stupid. I guess that depends on who you ask, though, who you talk to. There are responsible acid doers out there, believe it or not. For some of you psychedelic naysayers, if you will, they are out there. They exist, and I'm one of them. They call them psychonauts, you know, sailors of the soul, explorers of the soul. That's what that means. Yeah, it's definitely important. It's definitely something to be done in a more controlled environment, though, like a home, rather than at your friend's house, you know, or riding your bicycle, even, ironically. Considering Albert Hoffman, the creator of LSD, that was just his experience, is that he's making the LSD in his laboratory. Some of you guys may not know this story, and there's actually a holiday called Bicycle Day. People, hippies, and that celebrate every year to commemorate it. But basically, he was a scientist, and he was experimenting in his laboratory about on like ergot, different strains of ergot fungus or whatever, and or bacteria or whatever, and he synthesized the LSD accidentally, and he accidentally spilled a droplet on his skin, and then he went out and naturally rode his bike home like he always does. But little did he know, um, he had quite the adventure back home, because the acid kicked in on the way back home, and he started tripping balls while he was riding his bicycle, and hence LSD was born. But yeah, it's not something that's not ideal. That's exactly not the sort of thing you want. And I know there are people out there that would call me a pussy for saying that, but those are not responsible drug users that say that stuff. I'm responsible. I'm a psychonaut. I have to be. Believe it or not, there are people out there that would take LSD and go drive a car and do all that shit and then brag about it, even brag about how they used to do that and whatnot, and still do. And we live in a crazy world. Maybe that's why there's so many crazy drivers out there. Maybe they're all tripping on LSD or some shit. I do Grubhub, man. I know. I know how crazy the roads are firsthand. I never dream of doing something like that before administering myself with a substance like LSD. That's just the pinnacle of irresponsibleness or irresponsibility or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. These sort of things require lots of precaution. And some would even go as far as to say, if you're going to do it, you should take the time to clean your house. And I mean, I know my house is a pigsty, but some psychonauts are very strict. They would say I need to clean my house and I need to plan out the itinerary and have structure and have a trip sitter and all that jazz. But I'm not gonna do all that. No, I'm just not. I mean, I am responsible psychonaut and all. It's just and of course test it, make sure it's real. I know it's real though, but yeah, I'm not gonna do all that because it's safe enough. Trust me, it's safe enough with the precautions I have set in place um, to do just in a day at the house without all that extra stuff. I mean, if I had friends, I definitely would have a trip sitter come over and watch me and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't. And I have this depression that prevents me from cleaning the house and stuff. So there's that. And besides, even if I grabbed myself up by the bootstraps, so to speak, and did clean my house, I would be spending that entire day cleaning the house instead of taking acid. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do that either. But yeah, basically, you want a clean environment, and you want stable. That's part of having a stable environment, and you want a trip sitter, someone there to watch you and make sure you don't do anything stupid or erratic, and then you want to get you an acid reagent test kit. These are just like the standardized like psychonaut like handbook, rule book, Bible/Bible rules of precautions that you should do before taking acid. But you don't have to follow that to a T. I mean, some psychonauts would tell you absolutely do and must, but I'm not that serious about it. I mean, I am serious about it, but I'm not serious as adamant about that that rule book as some might be, which I probably should be, but I haven't had any problems with it yet, so I should be all right. It's like Boris Brejcha says, the famous Dutch DJ or German DJ or whatever. I take it smart. The song "I Take It Smart." That's what that's about. It's like I take the drug smart. I take it with all the necessary precautions to make it safe for me. back. I had to flip my burritos over. Yeah, there's a lot of how should I say this? A lot of like not really arrogance, I guess, but just pretentiousness in the psychedelic community. Everyone thinks they know everything about it, and everyone wants to enforce their own rules on it and whatnot, and which is fine when you're talking about things like safe drug use and being precautious, but there's just so much pretentiousness in the field between the people that call the people pussies for taking it too seriously to the people that take it too seriously and call the people that maybe take it a little more loosely dumbasses and stuff, and it's just there's just so much pretentiousness. It's really annoying. Um, but I try to find a happy medium between the two. You know, there's a balance to life. There's a balance in everything. You can't be too much of a stickler. You know, you never have any fun then. But at the same in that same light, if you can't, it's all perspective, man. Like that's what the acid shows you. Everything's perspective. But if you in that same light, if you're too loose with your responsibilities, then everything just kind of falls apart, and then you won't be having any fun. Then you'll maybe even spending some time in prison, you know, or dead, and that's no fun. But yeah, I just try to find a happy balance between the two sides. I actually used to be in a couple of psychedelic harm reduction Discord forums that tried to practice safe drug use and spread, get rid of a lot of the stigma and misinformation out there. There is a lot of misinformation about psychedelics out there. And what this forum did is they basically tried to clear up a lot of that misinformation by educating people that join the server, offering them tools and resources for taking the drugs responsibly, and a space to have a safe trip in. But eventually I got kicked out of that community because, like I said, there's a lot of pretentiousness involved with that culture, I guess, and some of our views didn't align on stuff, so the owner of the Discord kind of kicked me out. But he was a stickler to the max. I mean, the guy was just insufferable, you know. So, so yeah, it was probably for the best. I left that place. I mean, true, it's nice to have a safe place to trip in, but no one wants to deal with that type shit during their trips, you know. A bunch of nerds arguing it out about psychedelics and stuff, you know. That's not a fun place to trip, guys. Yeah, everyone thinks they're the shit. Everyone thinks they're an expert, which is kind of funny when when you consider how much like pretentiousness is involved with something like as humbling as something like a psychedelic, because it is a humbling experience. It's supposed to be anyway. But like I said, there's that whole like big brother perspective, like worldly perspective it gives you, and some people kind of let that go to their head. I took a psychedelic, now I know everything. You know, that whole meme. I just like to chill and have a good time, man, that's all. And I don't do it a lot. In fact, the last time I tripped, it had been several years since I had done it. So it's not like I'm addicted or anything, you know. For those of you who don't really know about the culture like that, it's really not addicting. If anything, users and purveyors of of the psychedelic substances have a great deal of anxiety revolved around taking them. Um, yeah, it had been like 5 or 6 years since my last trip, before the last one. Quite a while for something that's supposedly addicting. But as any AA member will tell you, addiction isn't about frequency of use, it's about how you do it. You know, if you take one pill, two pills, 10 pills, you know. But I don't agree. I don't contend with that philosophy. I have a big issue with a lot of the and as any drug user would say, ironically, I have a big issue with a lot of the philosophies of AAA and or double A or whatever you call it, Alcoholic Anonymous, or all the different like little drug or anti-drug organizations and stuff. I have big issues with a lot of their philosophies and stuff. But but yeah, I just think that's overkill. You know, that idea that it's not about the frequency of use. I mean, if you're only taking a drug every 10 years, you're not addicted to it, man. I don't care what they say. Technically, they would say you're addicted to it. Yeah, you're addicted to it. You're addicted to taking it every 10 years. That's what you're addicted to. But that's so retarded, man. Like that whole logic is just so retarded. And then what they would say is, well, then yeah, that's why you're an addict, is because you're calling us retarded. That's why you're an addict. It's the most toxic shit ever, man. I'm not an addict. Said every addict ever. Yeah, fuck you, man. Don't be insufferable. I mean, I guess they have to be strict because look what they deal with, man. They deal with like heroin addicts and meth addicts and stuff, you know? Like, of course, you got to tell someone like that you can never take this substance again, ever, for the rest of your life until you die. Like, you got to set the bar really high because time and time again they've proven people wrong and irresponsible. But not with stuff like this. It just does not factor in. You don't relapse on LSD. You don't relapse on mushrooms. That's not how it works. Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. That's all it is. Like I said, they get a bad name. They get a bad stigma. And that's really what that Discord server was about, was clearing up some of that negative stigma about it. And that's why I liked it so much too. I learned a lot while I was there. Lots of stuff I didn't know about psychedelics. Hold on, let me go check these burritos because I have a feeling like that timer is about to go off. back, guys. I'm just eating some brekkie. I gotta wait for it to cool off though, because it's been in the oven. And they're burritos, so like they just lock in all that heat, and like the little shell burritos are horrible when they're in the oven because they're so porous. It's the air that gets trapped in there and it makes them really hot. Horrible as far as like staying hot, having to wait to cool off, burning your mouth, stuff like that. Summer, go on. No! I actually got her started on a bad habit when she was a puppy. I used to give her scrapings from when I would make my breakfast burritos, and she would just, she got pretty bad. She got to the point where she would start ruffling through the trash can after I dumped the like bacon wrapper and stuff like that. The paper towels that I would use to wipe up spills and stuff, she would get that out of the trash. She'd smell the bacon grease. That's what it was. And then now she's grown up a little bit. She just expects everything, you know. I'd give her a little piece of bacon every here or there because I was on a diet. I know it's kind of funny. I was on a breakfast burrito diet. Not really the kind of thing you would expect to diet with, I know, but I was on a breakfast burrito diet. I started using turkey bacon eventually, but I was doing what's called intermittent fasting, which is where you only eat once within a 24-hour period. So it doesn't matter what you eat. I mean, as long as you only eat once during that 24 hours. And that's what I would do. I would make a breakfast burrito every night. And as you know, dog training is very like routine influenced. And I just got her and I kind of made the mistake of getting her into that bad routine. That routine of, okay, it's breakfast burrito time, you know. Okay, he's going to give me some bacon or something, you know. And now it got to the point where she just expects it, you know, like, oh, okay, daddy's going to give me some bacon or something, you know. And it's hard to break those habits once they're created. With dogs, it's hard to get them out of a bad habit, especially if they're young. It's easier when they're younger, but it's still really hard. Yeah, it's still hot. That's what I'm saying, man. It takes forever for these things to cool off, man. It really sucks what happened to me getting in that wreck, because it really threw everything off. I was losing weight and intermittent fasting and cooking for myself, and now I got 2 broken arms. It's hard for me to cook for myself, so I kind of got out of doing that. And really, to be honest, I kind of used the whole wreck as an excuse to just go back to eating any kind of way, but I really need to get back on my diet shit. That plus kind of someone told me that they don't want me losing too much weight. But kind of person doesn't want the best for you, you know? Like I don't know. It's weird. It's like all they care about is their own needs and desires. Like, if you know something is unhealthy for a loved one, would you still, like, want them to do it if it meant, like, bringing more pleasure to you? You know? Kind of weird. Oh, well. I'm still going to lose a little weight. As soon as I get back on my shit. I'm just going through some shit right now. Once I get my job back and my own money and stuff, I can start buying my own ingredients and stuff and having a little bit more control over my diet. No. I said no. Go on, get in there. Yeah, I should have just microwaved them. I don't like the whole crispy burrito thing. Burrito tortilla shell's supposed to be soft, not like crispy, I think. Not unless it's like a tostada or something. Quit! Just stop! You quit that. I'm tired. 47 farming, guys. You can now grow watermelons. Alright. Let's see if this burrito's cooled off enough now. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, these aren't nearly as good as my breakfast burritos. Nothing's better than homemade though. I try to stay away from like the frozen stuff. My dad used to call my mom the freezer queen because she doesn't like to cook. She always buys frozen stuff. Yeah, that's not. Just is not. That's horrible. In comparison to like what I would have cooked, what I would have done is I would have made some chorizo. I would have squeezed the chorizo out of the tube right into the pan, taken the spatula, flatten it down into a patty, sprinkle on a little bit of minced garlic, take the spatula, press that minced garlic down into that patty. Don't have to do it on both sides because, it's going to be pressed into the center of the patty with the spatula, putting minced garlic throughout the entirety of the patty. Alright, then I'd take onion powder. I'd sprinkle a little bit on top of the chorizo while it's cooking. And I'd take paprika because, as you probably may or may not know, chorizo is made with paprika. It's just sausage seasoned with paprika, essentially. But I like a little extra paprika in my chorizo. Adds a little bit of extra kick. So that I sprinkle a little bit of paprika on top of that chorizo patty while it's cooking with the onion powder. Flip it. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, not the minced garlic because the minced garlic's going to get pressed into the center with the spatula. So I sprinkle a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of paprika on the other side. And then when that gets nice and crispy, I take the edge of the spatula, I start chopping it up, chop, 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 get it nice and fine, minced chorizo, and then I take that out of the pan and I set it off to the side. While that's cooking, while that chorizo with the paprika and the onion powder and minced garlic and shit is cooking, I would have bacon sizzling on the side of that, and I would be flipping the bacon along with the chorizo, of course. All right, so after that's all my meat. After all my meat is cooked, I take it off. I put it off to the side. All right, then I take an egg. I crack the egg into a little bowl. I sprinkle a little pepper on top of that egg. And then I take like a small little teaspoon, not much, not even a whole teaspoon of the minced garlic. I put that in there with that egg, and I'm not making scrambled eggs here. Keep that in mind. I'm just mixing it lightly, and I just kind of like lightly work that minced garlic and the pepper into the egg, and then I just pour that egg into the pan, and I fry it, and then you always do your eggs last because eggs cook faster than meat. So and then after it's hit the pan, for a few seconds, I go ahead and give it a flip, let it fry a little bit on the other side, and then I do the same thing I did with the chorizo. I take the edge of that spatula, I start chopping it. I chop, 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 nice and minced, and then I take that chopped minced egg, cooked egg with the pepper and the what you call it, the minced garlic. I put that off to the side, and then I take a tortilla. I take the tortilla, I put it down that hot pan. I get it nice and crispy on both sides. Flip it, get it crispy on the other side. Just a few seconds, real easy to burn a tortilla. And then I take that off, and then I put the I take the minced chorizo with the minced egg. I put it on the tortilla. I squirt a little bit of chipotle sauce on top. I sprinkle a little bit of Mexican 3 cheese on top, and then I roll the burrito. These are the best breakfast burritos you'll ever taste in your life. Trust me. And if you want a little bit of extra crispiness, you can even throw the rolled burrito back on the pan and get it nice and crispy on both sides. I already fucked up. I wonder if I can use like a spade on this stuff. Yeah, no, that didn't work. Damn. What to do. I guess I'll just do these two. But as you can see, this is about how long this will be a nice little time to give an example of the timing of the mini game. This is about how long you have to get around to each plant. Right here, guys. And then you just water it again. I'll have to do like a little Asmin Gold style like steak slash breakfast burrito cooking instructorial video pretty soon. Yeah, take some credit from Asmin Gold. Do like a Asmin Gold cooking video type shit. That would be really cool. But there ain't no way I'm gonna get my mom to the store to buy some chorizo because she hates cooking. She hates when I cook too, because she says I don't clean her kitchen. But it's bullshit because I do clean her. I clean her kitchen every time I cook. In fact, her kitchen was cleaner than it had ever been in its life. Back when I was cooking for myself every night, she'd wake up to a clean counter every single morning. I don't know why she doesn't let me cook. You know, that'd be a nice little way to get a free clean kitchen. You know. But it's not her job to buy my cooking ingredients. Hopefully, once I get back on my feet and working again, I can start buying my own ingredients again and doing things how I want to do them. Yeah, I'm a maniac, man. I could literally like just eat breakfast burritos every single night of my life and have that be the only thing I eat all day. I was doing that, and as a matter of fact, for a while, I just had this wreck. You know, shit happens, man. It sucks. It sucks when it does, but it happens. Excuse me. I was also making up ahi tuna poke bowls for a while. I don't know if you guys are familiar with poke or know what poke is, but it's essentially sushi in a bowl without the seaweed wrap and stuff. You just put the rice in the bowl, like the sticky sushi rice. You have like chopped up marinated tuna or like fish of your choosing, yellowtail tuna, basically any of the sushi fishes, any of the fish that you can eat raw, essentially. A lot of your tropical fishes you can eat raw. It's gotta be sushi grade though. You gotta make sure it's sushi grade. Not You can't just go to the store and buy raw fish, guys, and eat it. You gotta have the sushi grade shit. Sashimi. Just ask your butcher. Ask your butcher if they sell sushi grade fish and stuff. They should be able to tell you, or at least direct you to where you could buy it. So I had this fish market I used to go to source all my sushi grade fish, and basically it comes down to like they have to bleed the fish on the boat right as soon as they catch it. If they let the fish come back in the ice box without bleeding it first, or at the dock, they can also bleed it at the dock. But the main thing is if the fish gets transported unbled, it could collect a lot of like bacteria and stuff. So they have to bleed the fish pretty quickly for it to be like sushi grade quality where you can eat it raw and stuff. But basically, some fish markets sell that kind of fish, but that's kind of like a niche kind of market. So not everywhere has it, but you get your sushi grade fish, your sashimi or what have you, and then you cook the sushi rice, and then you put the rice in the bowl, and then you chop up the tuna, and you chop up scallions, and you add a little rice vinegar, and you add a little what's it called, rice vinegar and something else. I forget what the other. Oh, sesame oil. Yeah, you add a little sesame oil to that marinade, and then after you do that, you let the sushi grade fish. And I know I'm fucking up trying to explain all this, but you let the sushi grade fish marinate in that scallion mix. with the rice vinegar and the sesame oil. The sesame oil will impart flavor, and the rice vinegar will kind of help break down that fish and allow the cooking is science. That's all it is. The rice vinegar basically acts as like a what do you call it, a solvent for the fish, so the fish can take in all those flavors. And oh yeah, and you add soy sauce to the marinade as well, of course, and that's what the rice vinegar is for. The rice vinegar acts as a solvent to help get that soy sauce flavor into the fish while it's marinating. And after, you don't marinate it long because you don't want like raw fish just sitting very long. That's not good. And this is actually a Hawaiian staple. This is like actually a lot of what they eat in Hawaii is poke bowls. And so then once the tuna or the sashimi or yellowtail or whatever kind of tropical fish you decide to do, sushi grade tropical fish you decide to do, once that marinates, you take it out, and it's really fun. It's really fun to make poke bowls because this is where you get creative. You add the rice to the bowl, and then you add the marinated fish to the bowl, and then you can top it with all your different like toppings. Like you can use seaweed, like little seaweed crisps. You can buy like these little seaweed chips at the store. I forget what they call it, ukami or something. You can add tortilla strips to it, or like wonton strips. Wonton strips. You could chop cucumbers. Really like there's no limit to what you could do to it. Just think of things that you would find at a Japanese restaurant, or like on a Chinese buffet or something. Wonton strips, seaweed strips, you chopped up cucumber, chopped up carrots, um, um, umami. Umami is basically soybeans. That's what I usually use to make my poke bowls. I'll add some soybeans to that, and then I'll drizzle it with a little bit of sriracha mayonnaise. I'll drizzle the poke bowl like zigzag it back and forth with a little bit of sriracha mayo, make it look sexy. And it's crazy because if you go to like an actual poke bowl place, you'll spend like $25 and $30 on these poke bowls. But if you make it my way, you're only spending like $2.50 for like a 16th of a pound of fish. I mean, if you're buying it to make for your family, you're obviously going to spend a little more. But if you're just buying it to make for yourself every night for like say like a keto diet or something, you're not gonna spend hardly anything at all. I spent like $2.50 to $5 on my fish, and then the ingredients are expensive. Like I'd say like the sesame oil, and the rice vinegar, because it's like some kind of like fancy like yuzu citrus rice vinegar. That was kind of expensive, but it's if you buy like it's expensive to buy the ingredients initially, but once you have all the stuff for it, it'll last you a long time because the recipe doesn't call for very much. It's not very much at all. It's like a fraction of a teaspoon of the soy, or it's like a fraction of the teaspoon of soy sauce, a fraction of a teaspoon of like sesame oil, a fraction of a teaspoon of like rice vinegar. It's like very small amounts because you're only making it for yourself. If you're only making it for yourself, and the price only comes out to about like $7 or $8 for the whole poke bowl. I mean, if you went to a restaurant and bought it, it'd be like $25, $26 or something. It's crazy. It's crazy how cheap like cooking for yourself can be. But anyway, let's get back to the stream here, guys. I just want to explain that because um, because I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed making poke bowls and saving money and stuff. Because I remember I used to do Grubhub a lot, and my customers would always order poke bowls, and I'd look at the receipt and I'd be like, "What?" And one day I was just like, "I wonder how cheap these would be to make myself." So I looked it up, and turns out they're actually pretty cheap to make, honestly. And they taste awesome. I mean, who doesn't like sushi? I mean, I'm sure there's some people that dislike sushi, but I like it, and it's healthy. All it is vegetables and raw fish, and it's a very very small amount of fish. Like I said, like $2.50 of fish, like $5 in fish. Like that's nothing, dude. Nothing at all. You won't put on very many pounds eating like that. I mean, the soy sauce is obviously going to be high in cholesterol, but I mean, look how much you're using. You're only using like a fraction of a teaspoon of the soy sauce, so it's not that bad. Never question a fat man's ability to cook. Kind of lagged out right there. That was weird. see if the stream's still going, because that was a massive lag. Okay, we're good. Excuse me. Now I wonder if I get 2 bonus points for every 100th fruit I contribute. Like, I know I get 2 bonus points for every 100 fruits I contribute, but does it go by the 100th, or does it go by literally every single 100 I contribute? I get 2 extra points. That's the question. I don't know how it works exactly, but I guess we'll find out. I don't know the exact science behind it. As you can see, I'm very analytical with my thinking. Anal retentive. Or I just overthink stuff. But that's anal retentive though. it's equivalent to burying bones. That's crazy. You get like 5 or 6 experience per harvest. But I wonder if you get a little experience tick for turning in the fruits too, though. It is good farming experience, though, considering the volume at which you're farming them at. It's a lot faster than bones in that regard. Because you're not burying, like, bones this fast. Because you got to get the keels first and then bury the bones. And I think you get farming experience for planting the seeds too. Hold on, let me see. You do not. You do not get any experience for planting and watering the seed. Only for harvesting. Yeah, so it's about the same rate as bones minus the time it takes you to kill the monsters for the bones. Regular bones, that is. Which is super slow experience. Most people bury dragon bones or wyvern bones. And they don't usually bury them either. They usually go to an altar or sacrifice them to the chaos altar in the wilderness. Which is even faster. Whoops. And I got these backwards, so I'm going to come over here first. Good thing I remembered that. Otherwise, I probably would have ended up with a blighted fruit sooner or later. wonder what the next level, next fruit unlock for this mini game is at. I forget. I know I've been getting farming levels. I'm just curious. I think it's like 54 or something. Let's see, 10th farm. Yeah, 54. 54 is balagana fruit. Balagana fruit. Yeah, 54. And I'm 47, so that's 4. That's 7 more levels. 7 more levels to unlock the next fruit. And I'm guessing the higher the fruits you go up in, the more points they're worth. I'm not sure, but that would make sense. Otherwise, why have different fruits? I wonder if there's methods where people alternate between the fruits within the same run, too. I mean, that would be no sense in that if each fruit offers more points. You'd always want to be able to do your highest level fruit. Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. You always want to do your highest fruit, and the higher the fruits are, I'm guessing the more experience they earn too. So that makes sense. Again, I'm just guessing on all of that, but it makes logical sense anyway.